Hi everyone, I'm Garrett from Zip Scanners, where we make scanning easy, with free shipping and lifetime technical support from experts like me. Today we're going to do a video on the best police scanner of 2020. The short answer is right in the middle, the SDS100. This is our fourth year making this. In 2017 and 2018, the best police scanner was the Whistler TRX1, which is standing to the farthest left. The best police scanner of 2019 and 2020 is in the middle. Once again, the Uniden SDS100. I'm sure you know that we harp on the SDS100 more than anything else, but that's just because it's a trusted scanner. It's the one that we all have. We typically have a bundle deal on the top scanner, the SDS100. We do currently have a bundle deal on that called the SDS100 scanner deal. We have one for the TRX1 called the scanner sale. So deal, sale. The reason I'm only showing you handhelds is because 75% of scanner sales are handhelds. And these Remtronix antennas that I have on every model here will basically break even on any kind of gain in reception that you would get from a base scanner, because I know it is a widely held opinion that base scanners receive better. That's really can be true, but it's really all about your antenna. So with these Remtronix antennas, I think it's the great equalizer. These handhelds receive just as well as the bases. The audio is just as clear. They may be smaller speakers, but they're still pretty loud and clear, as long as you adjust volume accordingly. I was going to include the BCD325P2 because it is a phase 1 capable scanner, but really at this point I don't even see the need to show it here. I'll show you a picture of it just so you know what it is, but that's how little we think of it. We don't even have it in the video. We don't even have one available to be in the video, so that should say something. But like I was saying, the handheld has about the same range as a base. There's no real benefit to having a base unless you want it anchored in a certain spot in your home, and that's where it's going to stay at all times. But I tend to think that people prefer to have a portable unit just in case they want to grab it on the go, listen to it in the car during rush hour or anything like that. But the range really does depend on the scanner and the antenna. It's ballpark 30 miles on the low end. The high end probably about 60 up to 80 if you get a home antenna package that would improve range by that much. Some people do like to scan outside of the 30 to 50 mile range, so that might be an option for you, but I tend not to recommend it. We will include links below for the best base scanners, as we're really only looking at handhelds today. I will briefly show you the SDS200, which is the fraternal twin to the SDS100. The formats for these scanners, they're all digital phase 2 and phase 1 capable, and 90% of scanner sales today are digital phase 2. Just even if you don't need it, if you're on an analog system, you never know. At any time they could change over to an NXDN or DMR, and you would need a Whistler TRX1 just to hear a couple of those P25 conventional channels that you would normally be able to get on an analog scanner, which I'll also show you the SR30C, the newest analog scanner, so we won't exclude that because it is pretty decent if it's available in your area. We tend to stick to digital phase 2, and I like to recommend the SDS100 just because it is the best scanner, and I will explain why. I'm not just going to say, yeah, it's the one, buy it. But yeah, I mean, it's the one, buy it. In all seriousness, if your system changes over to Simulcast, there are really no other scanners besides the SDS100 and 200 that can receive those frequencies. So you could have yourself a nice $500 Whistler TRX1 and it would work in your area perfectly 1 month, and then the next you find out there's some simulcast in your area and you're having a tough time picking up frequencies that you listen to daily, and that's just kind of a slap in the face, but that's really the reality with these changing systems. So I do like to recommend the SDS100 just to prevent against any future migration to a system that only an SDS100 could cover. Again, I have had people say that the BCD436HP to the farthest right here can also pick up simulcast fairly well, and I haven't seen it myself in a 7-county metro area that is 100% simulcast. I kind of liken it to the southeastern corner of Michigan where we deem that simulcast hell. But really, I haven't seen the SDS100 and the 436 side by side and thought, oh, I could use this 436. It's fine. You see how much better the SDS100 performs on a simulcast system. I've had people in Minneapolis, where we base this out of, tell me that the 436 works just fine, and they wanted to fight about it. So if you do think that the BCD 436 HP will work in your area, that's fine. It really does depend on where you're scanning from, which antenna you're using, how much simulcast exactly is in the area, and which towers run on that. Obviously, you do want to get a bargain for a scanner if it's available to work in your area. So say you have a phase 1 system and you're looking at the 325. I'm probably going to recommend that you upgrade to the 436 on the farthest right here. But really, if it does work, more power to you. If you like it, it does have phase 1 capabilities. It's just not great on phase 1. Most of the time I don't sell the 325. I just have people send it in for programming since it doesn't come with software, which is why we don't support it on our lifetime technical support, since someone's going to order it without programming and they're going to want it later when they realize, oh, this doesn't come with software, I have to buy it from Butel, a third party, what have you, and then you actually get the software for X amount of dollars and you find out you can't program it yourself. So if that's the case with the 325 or really anything below that, even above it, yeah, just hit us up here at 737-777-9876 and we'll help you out with programming there. But I'll just show the 325 in my hands right here. Yep, oh, there it is. And it's gone. So that's about all I have to say about the 325P2. It's not great. It's not bad either. I do like the BCD 436 HP, but in most cases I do recommend the SDS100 over it, just because if you're gonna get the one that came directly before the newest one, why not just go for the newest one? It is improved. It is an older scanner, and it's really the one, along with the TRX1. If I'm not recommending the SDS100, I'm recommending the TRX1 and the BCD 436 HP. That's usually on a non-simulcast system that's P25 phase 2. It depends on if the area has NXDN or DMR, then I would always recommend the Whistler TRX1 or TRX2 because that's already pre-decoded for free and it is a paid upgrade with Uniden and the BCD 436 HP. But yeah, I mean, those are the 3 phase 2 capable scanners that I recommend every day. I will briefly show you the SR30C. See, I'll break it out a little bit later when I start to talk about analog. Some more similarities and differences between Uniden and Whistler. So they all come with a 1-year limited manufacturer's warranty. What that entails, we'll get into if it ever comes up. But They have similar support. I personally think Uniden has the edge on support, but it didn't really used to be that way. It used to be Whistler was the only one with scanner support. And then Uniden kind of came in and realized that they needed more robust support, and they've really upped their game over there. So I appreciate those guys over there whenever I need to send someone over there for any kind of hardware issues or to ensure that the scanner was dead on arrival, or if there's a way to fix it that I'm not thinking of. But those guys are great, and I also like the guys at Whistler. But yeah, the scanner divisions of these two companies are just small pieces. Uniden used to be a home phone company. Obviously, that's not much of a thing anymore. So scanners have become a bigger part of Uniden, and they're becoming a smaller part of Whistler. But I won't get into that too much. Like I said, with the paid versus free upgrades, Whistler has free NXDN, DMR, Moto Turbo Voice, and it's $60+ for DMR, NXDN, and Pro Voice EDAX. It really depends. We've changed our prices a little bit here and there, but I will link to that page in the description. But a lot of people question if they do need the upgrades, and if you do, just ask us, and we'll vet it before you decide on a scanner or you decide on an order. The general public seems to trust Whistler more than Uniden for this reason, but oftentimes upgrades aren't necessary in your area anyway, and they only run on certain talk groups. So this needs to be vetted before you decide on a scanner for upgrade purposes, which we'll do for free. Either call us at 737-777-9876 or email us at zip@zipscanners, and we'll look up your area and see what's required. But yeah, that's something we can do before you decide on your order. I would recommend checking on that first, because you could drop $300 on upgrades without needing them, and that's not refundable. So I just want to make sure you're getting what you need and only what you need. So the similarities on all of these, like I said, digital phase 1 and 2, trunked and analog, they're all handheld. They're generally the same size. It's a little bit taller left to right. But yeah, they're all only PC programmable, no Macs. I've said this a few times, but I just wanted to make sure you know that all scanner software is PC programmable only. So the database is coming from Radio Reference in all cases. That's what we use. That's where the imports come from. Basically, what's on Sentinel is exactly what's on Radio Reference. That gets updated pretty frequently, so I check that weekly, just to make sure everything's up to date. All three of these have zip code setup available, so you can do a location-based scan on all three of these. It's available to you on the keypad on both the 436 and the SDS 100. You have to go into the menu to set your location on the TRX1, but they're all pretty similar. So like I'm doing right now, I know you're probably wondering why I have Los Angeles in the background. I don't know. I just typed in a zip code, 90210. Can't come for Hollywood looking like West Covina though. The battery life, it's about 6 to 8 hours on all of these. The SDS 100 has a lithium-ion battery, so oftentimes it does last longer than the AA's that are in the 436 and the TRX1. But we use Lupacell batteries, which are better than your regular Duracell batteries that you would use in your TV remote. We like to include a wall charger for this as well, and these batteries last much longer than the ones you usually use, I'm sure, just because Duracell, Energizer, they're just bigger and they have more advertising. But Lupacell, I promise, is a quality battery, so that's what we like to include with our packages. One thing with a location-based scan that I can segue into is GPS. So all Uniden scanners now have a universal GPS device that connects to their scanners, but it comes with all the cords that you need for every digital Uniden scanner. I'll put it like this. So all you need is the faucet and you're getting the whole kitchen sink. So it's not ideal, but that's the way they set it up now. I'm actually working on internal GPS in the SDS100 and see if we can offer that. I have seen it a couple times, and someone reached out to us on Twitter to show us that someone had basically jailbroken the SDS100 to use GPS internally, but right now that's not a reality, and you would need a universal GPS from Uniden. Kind of annoying to get all the extra cords, but if you ever do decide to add to the collection, as it were, you have all the available GPS devices. But all in all, it's kind of a meh feature. I really don't recommend it unless you're a truck driver or you drive cross country or you have a long commute. Otherwise, you can just type in the zip code, because it's really all the GPS does is change the zip code that you're crossing over into when you're driving. That's really up to you if it's worth it for you. The storage on these, the SDS100 has a 8GB SD card, same with the TRX1. The 436, I believe, has an 8GB, but let me just check. Oh, maybe I can't. See? I'm not going to take the batteries out just to check. But it is either 4GB or 8GB. The 325, as I showed in my hands earlier, yep, there it is again, has dynamic memory. Since it does not have an SD card, it is all programmed by the USB cable, and everything lives on the scanner itself as opposed to the SD card, which is the case for all three of these scanners. Like I said, battery type SDS100, lithium-ion battery pack, proprietary battery, and the others are all AA batteries. So as you can see, the 436 has a black and white screen. I changed the SDS100 to have a black background, white text, just because it looks a little bit cleaner, but that does have a color display, as you probably know. I do like the black background with white text, though. Those neutrals are getting to me. Yep, it's pretty clean. I do like that. But yeah, that's really the main difference between the 436 and the SDS100, besides simulcast capabilities. The screen, the display is a little different. It has some of the same features, not all of them. The SDS100 definitely receives better, has a better battery life. The 436 is a little slim, so it can be beat up a little more. This SDS100 has a new battery on it, which I don't love. I know I've talked about that before. It used to be flush with the back. I wish they'd used a smaller battery that had better battery life, but you know, you kind of need to expand in order to get that battery life, and that was the result. But that kind of gives me a good segue into some of the downfalls of the SDS100. Like I just mentioned, the battery. It is sort of a small issue. Some people would say it's a bigger issue, that the SDS100 overheats if you overcharge it, which obviously you can combat with not overcharging and with an external battery charger with a second battery. So you can just switch them out when one's charged and one's depleted. But I really do like how you can charge the SDS100 like you would a cell phone and use it as it's charging. And like I've shown you many times, there's just a simple setting in the scanner where you can enable that. But I will do that right now just to show you. So it's settings, battery options, set charge while on. And the SDS100 is really the only scanner in which you can do that. You can charge the TRX1 using the USB cable and AC adapter, but it doesn't necessarily charge the batteries. It's not powerful enough to charge the unit itself. but you can charge the backup battery while the batteries are getting a slight charge, but we do recommend charging the batteries externally, having 2 sets of 4 batteries. Yeah, just like I would recommend with the SDS100. So if you're going to be using these a lot, I would recommend having batteries. So many batteries, just drawers of them, which not always ideal, but in the long run, it's worth it. Another reason why we recommend these Remtronix antennas is because usually the stock antenna is made pretty poorly. So with the SDS100, it's made to be waterproof, so you lose a little bit of reception there. And these Remtronix antennas improve reception by 20 to 50% with a 6+ dB gain. So on 700, 800 megahertz, these perform best, but really on any frequency or megahertz, these should perform very well, at least better than the stock antennas do. The TRX one has a pretty decent stock antenna. The 436 is kind of in the same boat with the SDS100. The antenna is not great. I think Whistler does have slightly better antennas than Uniden, but we try to solve that by giving them all the same antenna. And here is the Uniden SR30C. It's the newest analog scanner. I won't fire it up or put the antenna on it, but it's a nice compact pocket scanner. If you're a railroad fan or aviation, this is perfect for that. There's 500 channels, 10 different banks, so there's a lot of storage on it, and it's really the best analog scanner and really the only one that we sell right now. We kind of parted ways with the BC125AT and the BC75XLT, which is now discontinued. RIP, my dude. We're not too concerned with that one, but it is, if you want a little honorable mention, that's the best analog police scanner of 2020. Since we're giving away participation awards, this is the best base scanner of 2020. I'll just show you its shell. This is the image. Looks pretty thick. Looks pretty good. Yeah, she's pretty, isn't she? That's pretty much all for this video. There will be links below for additional resources. Call or email us before you buy and we can tell you what format you need. If you need Pro Voice, DMR, NXDN, or if Simulcast affects your area. It can be confusing, so we're here to help. Hope you enjoyed our 2020 Best Police Scanner video. Vibe with the vision. The SDS100 is the defending champ once again. Will there be a three-peat? Find out next year on Zip Scanner's YouTube channel. Share your experience in the comments. Save the questions for the inbox at zip@zipscanners.com and the phone lines at 737-777-9876. This is Garrett from Zip Scanners, where we make scanning easy, with free shipping and lifetime technical support from experts like me. Hit the like if you like, hit the bell as well, please subscribe, and please don't gripe. Garrett from Zip Scanners, 2020 Best Police Scanner, forever.